We are a family of 4 living in Phoenix, Arizona, and this is how we are planning to spend our money this month. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I talk about family budgeting and ways you can make more money, save more money, and manage your finances through a budget. And today I'm going to show you my actual household budget for the month of February. My family is made up of myself, my husband Jacob, and our 2 sons, Peter, who is 3.5, and Jack, who is 1.5. And here is how we are planning to save and spend every dollar in our budget this month. So this is our budget template. This is what I use every month when I'm budgeting. I will leave a link to it down below and you can get it as an instant download that works in Excel, Google Sheets, everything you need. And this is what I've been using for a very long time. So you can pick it up there if you'd like. So the first thing that we have here is our income. We have Jacob's income and my income, and I have this individually blocked out. My husband Jacob works in marketing and he is a W-2 employee for a company. I myself work here on YouTube and have my own small business. I'm also a stay-at-home mom. So I'm home with my kids during the day, and when they're sleeping, like right now, I make YouTube videos and do social media things. So I pay myself a salary out of my business. I haven't shared about it too much here, but there's lots of ways that I make money from my business through YouTube, affiliates, sponsorships, selling my own product like my budget template. And I also began doing a bookkeeping for clients starting in September. And it's been a really great way for us to have an extra income stream for our household. It was really easy to add this into the work that I typically do because it's super flexible. It's something that I can do from home while my kids are sleeping, and also utilizes my skills of being organized. And I do have a background in accounting, but you don't need to be an accountant to be a bookkeeper. So I've had some people asking me about how to get into bookkeeping. So I've actually decided to create a course about how to become a bookkeeper and launch your own bookkeeping business, because I think it is such a wonderful business that you can do from home on your own time. It comes with good pay. You can set your own hours. You can choose who you want to work with. And the great thing is that every business, even small businesses, needs to be keeping track of their finances, and that's where you can come in as a bookkeeper. It's very high demand. So my friend Andrew, who is a CPA, and I are working on creating this course together, and I'm super excited about it. It'll be launching next month. But for now, if you want to learn more about bookkeeping and see if it might be a good option for you, I have a free download that talks about what makes a successful bookkeeper. I will leave a link to that down below. And with that, you'll also get on the wait list for the course that we'll be launching with exclusive pricing. So I just want to let you know, if you've ever thought of becoming a bookkeeper, or you're looking for a side hustle or something that you can do from home, I would highly recommend checking out bookkeeping and seeing if it could be the right thing for you. So anyway, that is another little way that I do make money for my family, is with bookkeeping, and I have that included here in our budget. So let's move into the expense and savings section of the budget. So we are using a zero-based budget, which means all of our income needs to equal all of our money out, which is expenses, debts, and savings. The only debt that we have is our mortgage. So we don't have a debt section. I know some people might put their mortgage in the debt section, but I personally don't. It's not a consumer debt that I'm like really working on paying off right now and tracking. So I just have that in the expense. So the first thing that you see here is our tithe and African New Life. These are 2 things that we support financially with our church and African New Life. Next we have is our mortgage at $2305.60. So this is our monthly mortgage payment. This is principal and interest only. Next we have is the HOA. This is actually covered for us for the first year. We moved into this house we closed in November, and it's a new build. And one of the incentives that they had for us was they paid our HOA dues for the first year. So we don't have that right now, which is nice. Next we have is natural gas. It should be $158.32. Then we have electric, which should be around $130. Trash is $30 a month, which is cheaper than what it was when we lived in Oregon. And water should be $65.40 this month. Our internet is $50. Our phones are $100. Insurance. This is insurance for both of our cars. We have a 2024 Kia Carnival and a 2018 Toyota Highlander, both fully paid for, and our insurance is $200 a month for that. Next we have is life insurance. We do have a term policy on myself and my husband Jacob, and that is $52.89 each month. Next we have is groceries at $500 is what we are budgeting. We do HelloFresh. I've shared about this, but that's why this is a little bit lower, because we do HelloFresh, and I've shared about it here on my channel before, and I have a referral link where you can get a free box of HelloFresh and then I get a credit. So I've had some credits built up, and those are still covering free HelloFresh for us right now. So our groceries are probably lower than you would expect for a family of 4 because of that. So I will leave my link to HelloFresh down below. It's just a referral link that literally anyone can do. It's nothing special or sponsored, but if you want a free box, I have a referral link down below. Next we have is eating out at $150 each month. The eating out that we do is once a week. I have in our schedule every Saturday right now is when we will eat out. And since we have 2 little kids, I really don't care to go to a restaurant. It's so much more expensive, like a sit down restaurant. We often do takeout and it's cheaper, and then we can just eat at home. So that's what we typically do for our eating out. Next we have is gas at $150. And then we have fun budgeted for $50. We'll do something fun this month. And then miscellaneous at $100. You always need a miscellaneous category because there's always something. Roth IRA. We are wanting to fully fund our Roth IRAs this year, but we aren't putting into it yet. And I'll talk about why in a little bit. We do have college. We are putting $100 each month into each of our sons' 529 college savings plan. And then extra mortgage. Another goal this year is to work on paying down our mortgage because we bought this house in November. Our mortgage rate is 6.625%, but another like incentive with the builder is we got like a 1-year special buy down. So it's actually at 5.6% for this first year, and then next year it'll go up. So we do want to actually put a little extra to our mortgage because our interest rate is so high. If we still had a 3% interest rate, I wouldn't be putting extra to my mortgage right now. But because we have a high rate, that is one of our goals. So as a total, we have $5,062.21 planned to go out of our bank account this month towards all of our expenses. Next, moving into the savings section of our budget. First up, we have our emergency fund and our move fund, and I do show the balances of these for you. And I have these in a separate color because we are actually keeping them in our high yield savings account that we have through CIT Bank. A high yield savings account is a savings account just like your normal one at your normal bank, except it earns you substantially more interest, like 10 times the average national rate for savings accounts. So CIT Bank right now is offering 5.05% on their platinum savings account. With this account, you need to have at least $5,000 to get that 5.05% rate. And I am using CIT Bank because they have some of the highest rates around. I will leave a link to them down below for their high yield savings account. It's also an affiliate link. So if you use it, I get a little commission. So thank you for that if you decide to go with them. But I've been using them for several months now, and it's been a really great experience. We even kept all of our money there for our house equity. Like when we sold our house in Oregon, we had a few months until we moved. We kept all of our money from our house sale there, and it was a super easy process and earned us some really great interest. So if you have an emergency fund, a great place to park it is in a high yield savings account to just let it sit there and earn you interest. You can take it in or out at any time. You can make withdrawals at any time, and there's no fees or penalties for doing so. There's no fees with CIT Bank at all for like setting up your account or monthly fees or anything like that. So I've really enjoyed that with them. So I just have this in a separate color just to know that I have this money sitting in my high yield savings account. And then everything else that you see here is sitting in my regular savings and checking account with my regular bank. So we have our emergency fund though at $30,000, and then we have our move fund. Since we are still in the process of getting everything set up in our house, I do want to still keep our move fund here probably a couple months longer and see if there's anything else that we need to get for our house. We do have a couple things that we would like, but that's kind of on pause due to the next thing here. Okay, taxes. We've been setting aside money for taxes because I anticipate that we're going to owe something. So we are about to send our taxes to the CPA soon. So by the time I do my recap video, I should know how much we owe. Or the state of Oregon, which is where we used to live, I know is getting like a really great kicker this year. So maybe that'll help offset some things. But I definitely think we're going to owe in some capacity. So I just want to have money set aside and see what happens. See if we owe money, and then I could use our move fund and then also the money that we've set aside for taxes to cover that. And if we don't owe money, then perfect. I will use that and put it to my Roth IRA. So that's my plan for our tax situation. Hopefully we'll figure that out in a couple weeks. Next we have is property taxes. We did not go through escrow for our taxes and insurance, so we do save $300 each month for property taxes. Next we have is property insurance. We set aside $65.06 each month for insurance for our home. And then we have personal fund. Jacob We actually moved his down to 150 and mine is at 75. His used to be at 250, but we had a little budget meeting and we decided to lower this. Honestly, our income has been lower than it was in like 2021. If you recall, in 2022, my husband had a wonderful job in the tech industry and he went on paternity leave, which was a fully paid 4-month paternity leave. And he got back from it and 2 weeks later was part of a mass layoff in the tech industry. Remember when all of that was happening in like fall 2022? Yeah, he was part of it. So he was without a job for a month and a half. Thankfully, it was a very short amount of time and he got a new job and that's the job he's still working right now. I'm really grateful that he found a new job so quickly, but it does pay less than what his previous job did. And then also I have been really busy with the kids and just haven't had as much time to work. So my income has been down a little bit too. So we have just been adjusting accordingly, which I'm not going to lie, it's kind of hard mentally to get over. I don't know, it has been for me to know that we're like making less money than we did in previous years. I don't know about you, but like 2021 in a wonderful financial year for us income wise, for my business as well as for Jacob and his job in tech. And things changed for that in 2022 when we had our second baby and when we experienced that layoff in a new job. So things are different and I'm trying to remind myself that this is a season. Like having little kids is a season. It's a sacrifice. Whether you are a 2-income household and you're paying astronomically so much for daycare, or you are a stay-at-home parent and you are basically missing an entire salary for your family, either one of those is a huge sacrifice and it's just a season. I know it's not going to be this way for forever. But all that to be said, we decided to cut back on this because we just hadn't adjusted that really since Jacob had his previous job in tech. So we're just adjusting that accordingly. So he gets 150, I get 75. This is money that we can spend however we want. And we have that for personal spending. Next we have is extra giving. We set aside $50 each month for extra giving to allow us to say yes to additional giving opportunities if they come up. We also have gifts at $50 each month for things like weddings or baby showers, birthdays, things like that. Then we have clothing. We put $50 each month into clothing. Vacation, we're putting more to this than we normally do. Normally we put like $200. This month is $500 because we are soon going to Disneyland as a family and I'm super excited about it. So we're just saving up a little bit more for that trip. Christmas, we are not saving towards Christmas right now because our plan, what we do every year, is we take all of our credit card rewards that we've earned during the year and we use those to pay for Christmas. So we have a credit card that gets us cash back and we use that to fund our Christmas fund. Next we have is medical, $533.33 each month. This is to cover our max out of pocket. So we have a high deductible health plan paired with an HSA. I love the HSA because of its tax advantage and you can also invest the dollars in the HSA and it rolls over year after year. So we are maxing out our HSA this year and investing those dollars and we don't want to touch it to cover medical expenses. So we therefore just save what we know is our max out of pocket to know that's how much we're going to spend in medical. And if it's a bad year or something happens and then we feel confident that we have the money set aside and we can go to the doctor when we actually need to. We hit our max out of pocket at the end of November last year. So not the best timing to hit the max out of pocket because it was just a very, very close, but it was nice to have money set aside to cover those bills. Next we have is dues and subs. We are putting $50 each month into dues and subs to cover routine sort of subscriptions that come due like annually. Then we have car maintenance at $75 each month to cover car repair kinds of things. House maintenance, $200 each month for that. And then household, $100. This is for things like toilet paper, paper towels, all that good stuff. And then kids we have at $250. This covers things like diapers, clothing, toys, like anything we need to get for the kids because we have kids, it goes here. So the grand total for money that's going into our sinking funds is $3,637.79. So our savings and our expenses together is $8,700, which is the income that we budgeted. So this should be a zero base budget. There we go. The difference should be zero and there it is. So that is a look at our budget for February and how we are planning to spend and save every dollar this month. So let me know in the comments below how your February is looking. I know this video is going out a little bit late. I was sick for like 2 weeks with this lingering cold that just never went away, and I lost my voice. So that's why this is a little late. And don't forget, you can check out this budget template with the link down below. And I will also leave a link to CIT Bank where you can check out their high yield savings account. I forgot to mention they have the platinum savings that earns you 5.05% if you have a balance of $5,000 or more. Or they have a Savings Connect account that earns you 4.65% for balances under $5,000, and that is still an awesome interest rate. So either one is great, and I've had a great experience with them. And with that, I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.